So you've got a camera and you want to make $2,000 a month with photography. Is it possible? Absolutely. I'm Ryan and I've been photographing professionally for a decade, making well over $2,000 per month. And I'm going to share with you 5 ways that I would use photography to earn extra income every month if I was starting again, even as a side hustle. So how do I know this works? Because I've done it. Photography is a fantastic side hustle. Not just because it allows you to earn extra income, which is great with the cost of living as it is, but you also get the chance to be creative and break free from your normal 9 to 5. Now, some of these strategies I share might seem simple, but I'll give you some numbers to go along with them so you can see how quickly your side hustle can scale to $2,000 per month or more. So our first strategy is senior shoots or portraits. I'm pretty sure you've heard this shared as a money-making strategy in most videos of how to make money with photography, but I'm going to add some different perspectives that you might not have seen. Senior photo shoots is something that's mainly popular in the US, not so much in Australia, which can actually present an opportunity if you're currently a student wanting to make some cash. If you're in uni or college, depending on where you're from, then approach a few of your friends, build up a portfolio, and then get them to spread the word. We all know how fast word of mouth can spread in a school. Now let's move on to portraits though. And here's an idea that I have had huge success with. I don't do it as much now, although occasionally, but I have done it really successfully multiple times in the past to top up my cash flow on a month that's been in a bit of a dip. Now, of course, you can do the one-off portrait shoots. It's more intimate and gets really great results. But it is time consuming and fairly limiting in terms of time spent and money made. Now, this is where we get to the good part. If you've had people ask you to do let's just say a couple of photos of them, it's a small job until you get them all together in a day. Now in my case, I'll normally hire a studio and spread the word that you're doing a headshot day. Get local small business owners involved, connect with networks, find individuals who might need a new resume headshot, or people that want a couple of really nice photos for their new online dating profile. Now trust me, I've actually done that, and the guy that I worked with, he has met the love of his life, but that's a different story. Now, if you open up 15 spots in a day for, let's say, 30 minutes each, offer a package of 3 professionally edited images for a price of $150 each package. Now you've made more than $2,000 in a day, not a month. The major benefit to your clients is that they get the great photos that they want for a great price and you make a heap of extra cash. Now, from my perspective, that is really great value and a super easy turnaround. So strategy number 2 is real estate. When I first started my photography business, I'd actually just stepped out of a job in real estate and I knew the opportunity that was available. Agents always need good photos to advertise their listings, no matter what country you're in or what economic environment you've got. I always saw a bunch of new photographers emailing the agency and saying how great they could be to work with. What they didn't do, and what I did, was take the time to do a couple of sample property images, get them printed onto some really nice glossy photo paper, and put them in an actual physical portfolio with my contact details. Then I actually went to every real estate agency, knocked on the doors and said, here's a portfolio of images, I'd love to work with you. That then produced some incredible results. Now I got work quickly and clients coming back. Did this set me apart from every other photographer wanting to get some skin in the game? Absolutely it did. Now, the other thing that I did in terms of marketing, which I hadn't really heard of anyone doing, was having known one of the other real estate photography businesses in my area, I picked up the phone and actually rang them. I know it sounds old school, but please just keep in mind that this was also a decade ago. Now, the actual conversation went like this. Hi, little bit of banter and that sort of stuff. I don't want to become your competition. I want to become your co-opetition. Now, in terms of what that actually means, it means that you might be competing businesses in a marketplace. But that doesn't mean that you can't work with each other to help both of your businesses. I said, look, if you have an overflow, I'd love if you could give me a call and I'll capture the images for you. Now, look, if I get too much on, I'll happily send you the work to be done. Now, that conversation created a really trusted relationship. And guess what? We actually still work together on occasion to this day and have a great relationship. And I still refer them people who contact me that I don't have a capacity for. So for a real estate photo shoot package, you can charge anywhere from say $150 to $500 for still images. Some areas may have scope to charge more depending on the type of properties. Strategy number 3 is events. Events happen almost every day. And I'm sure that you know someone who probably has one coming up. Engagement parties, weddings, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, business networking, training seminars, Christmas parties, and so many more happen all year round. That is a great opportunity for you. So let's say that you start out talking to your friends and family to build a portfolio from a couple of shoots. Once you've got those done, share them on your socials, join some local community groups on Facebook and even some event groups as well. Jump in there, introduce yourself and share a couple of images along with, if you're looking for a photographer to cover your event, let's chat. Now there is a strong chance of getting a few inquiries using this strategy, and depending on the type of event it is, you could be charging $500 plus per photo shoot. If you did one of these each weekend in a month, you've got your target $2,000. Now, the other thing that you will very often find at an event is people are quite likely to ask you if you could photograph their event too, especially if you've got a really good energy about you. Now, this has happened to me more times than I can actually count. I really just lost track of how many times this has happened. The longest chain of events that I've had after getting the first one was sitting at about 7 or 8. And that really generated a huge amount of fantastic revenue and great word of mouth for the business that still continues to carry itself forward. So on to strategy number 4, and this is restaurants. For a business to stand out online, they need to look good. Now, what better way to do that than with great images? Restaurants, cafes, food trucks, and many more types of businesses need social media content. If you offer to create a collection of great images for them, then they've got that in the bag. There are a lot of options you can capture. New menus, showcasing the venue, or doing a profile on the staff are all ways that restaurants can connect with their patrons online. What's even better is you actually then have the opportunity to turn this into a monthly contract. So let's say you sell a package of 50 professionally captured and edited images for $400. Now let them know that you can actually come back for one day each month, get some new images, and keep their content looking fresh. If you want to take it even further, here's an idea. Remind them of how busy they are. And if they want to save time and keep their content going up online consistently, that you can manage their social media posting too. Now you've got a subscription business model, and that repeats every month for, let's just say, $1,000 per month per client. That sounds pretty good, right? If you're a bit skeptical on whether this will work, I can say that it does. You just need to be able to connect with the right clients who are open to getting help. Now, this is a strategy that actually helped my business with a really strong foundation when I first started. Now, I've also used restaurants and cafes as an example here. However, you could replicate this model with just about any type of business who want and need consistent content across their social media and marketing. Strategy number 5, product or commercial photography. In the fast-paced world of e-commerce, online sales, and digital marketplaces, The need for products to look their best online is high, like really high. If you're not a people person, then this might be a great option for you, considering that a lot of the time you really don't need to interact with anybody except for your client to do this type of work. Now, this strategy does lend itself to the introverts and the reclusive creatives who are technically amazing and love every detail. In a disc profile, you would probably be like a C-type personality. You also don't need to leave the house if you want to set up a small studio at home. Now, a couple of really great skills to develop in this space are learning creative lighting methods, using studio or flash lighting to create the right shapes, curves, and lines in the products, and of course, Photoshop as well. Are all these requirements to get started? No. No, they're not. Except the lighting one, that one is pretty important. It's also very possible to learn through practice, as well as YouTube University, which is basically watching lots of YouTube videos, and definitely practice. Practice is by far the most important one in this space. I've captured images for use on websites, billboards, online marketplaces, things like Amazon, and just so many more. It's actually fairly easy work once you get to understand the process and know your lighting pretty well. There are a couple of ways that you can do invoicing for this. You can charge for this by product image captured or as a total package deal. It's completely up to you. Now, what I would recommend working out once you've got a few shoots under your belt is to actually have an idea of how long it takes you to capture each style of product, so you know the time input required for each photo shoot. That way, you're not going to be undercutting yourself. Now, this video is a pretty condensed summary of a lot of things that I did when I was building up my business, originally as a side hustle. But from my perspective now, 10 years later, I'm so glad that I did make the extra money and go down this creative pathway. If you put all of these strategies together, you've got a business that could produce $10,000 a month or more. You've just got to decide how much you want to do and the time you choose to invest in your own learning and growth. I hope that you've got a lot of value from this video, but just before you click off, please click that subscribe button down below, then check out this video, which is one that you will find even more value from.